스승님, 미국에서 동양인 증오 범죄가 팬데믹 이후
Seusuengnim,
전역에서 늘어났습니다.
Asian hate crimes have increased significantly throughout the U.S. since the pandemic.
아시안 업소 직원
In Atlanta last month, a white man killed 8 people at an Asian-run small business,
4명이
6 of whom were Asians, and of those, 4 were Koreans.
중국인만 아닌 모든
During the pandemic, profanity and violence against Asians, not just Chinese, increased a lot.
특히 뉴욕 같은 경우는
Especially in New York, Asian hate crimes and assaults increased severalfold in the last month alone.
증가하였습니다. 미국 사회에서
I would be grateful if you could explain why the American public blames all Asians for the coronavirus and attacks them,
공격하는 이유가 무엇이며 미국의
and how Asians living in America should view and deal with this situation.
바라보며 대처를 해야 하는지 풀어주시면 감사하겠습니다.
우리가 코로나가 지금 세계적으로
Just
지구촌에
as
지금
COVID-19 is now happening worldwide, all bad things happen throughout the world.
시작이에요. 이거는.
This is only the beginning.
그럼 이 근본부터 우리가 조금은 만져봐야
We have to think about the root cause first, and we will have an opportunity to discuss more on this later.
서양입니까, 동양입니까?
Is America the West or the East?
서양이에요.
It is the West.
서양에서 동양인을 받아줬어요.
The West embraced Asians.
받아줬고 동양인들이 인기가 참 높았어요. 서양 사람들은.
Asians were very popular with Westerners. Why?
열심히 하고
Because they were diligent, hardworking, smart, and sociable. That is why Westerners really liked Asians.
왜?
Why?
동양이라는
If
것이
we compare the
동양이라는
world to a tree, the West makes up the tree branches, while the East is the trunk and the root.
치고 뿌리예요.
As the Westerners were working in the branches, they created a new city, which is the United States.
미국이 서양의
America was created as a new city in the Western world.
지금 미국의 인구가
What is the United States population now?
미국의 신도시를 만들어 갖고
We have to know the principle of how grand nature operates and develops this new world, but no one knows this.
지금 인원이
There are probably about 320 or 30 million people.
인원이 원래 얼마?
But how many people should the United States have?
그러면 사이즈에 비해 갖고
The number of people is small relative to its size.
근데 미국이 얼마?
So what should the population of America be in order to perform its role? It should be 700 million people.
그럼 지금 이때까지
Up until now, the United States has embraced Asians, Westerners, and everyone.
얼마큼 받아?
How many has America accepted?
법칙에서
America received 30% according to the law of 327.
70% 가지고 100을 놓고 볼 때
They are to accept 700 million people, which is 70%, but they have only accepted 300 million so far.
3억이 넘어가고 있는.
It is just over 300 million now.
이게 3억 될 때가 아마 제일 갖춰올 때가
It was probably the closest to 300 million in 2013.
2012년도
That is to say, it would have been around 300 million after 2012.
여기서 조금 더 늘어난 것이
There has been an increase of tens of millions of people since then.
요래 돼야 되는 거예요.
It should be like this.
근데 1차적으로 받아들이고
The United States should accept people in 2 stages. The first stage was the laborers.
잘 살라고 간 사람들.
In America, people who wanted to live well, those who wanted to be successful, and those who were of low socioeconomic status were the majority. People of low socioeconomic status wanting to raise their quality of energy came to become rich and live a better life. People went to America because it was the land of opportunity. Many Asians, especially Koreans, went there. Since 2000, the new millennium, Asian immigrants should have started doing things that they were capable of. If you have grown up in America, what should you do for America? The Korean American Association and the Korean American community exists to research such activities. For example, Chinese form Chinese organizations like Chinese American groups. Why do organizations form? It is not to fight or to gain something. They should have been formed to research. No one taught this. How do you research? At that time, many Koreans went to the United States and received significant support, so they had some power. That was the 2000s. At that time, Korean Americans were pretty well off. This means that they had basic power. At that time, Taekwondo instructors went there, did well, and were very popular. Everyone who had come to America developed themselves, and if they operated a store or supermarket, they managed it well. People gather after building basic power. What should these people do after coming together? What should we do for America? Asians should have been asking themselves this and should have started doing it. Asians should have lived by doing things that America needed. There were no spiritual leaders who could guide us thusly. Who came to the United States in the 2000s? Many Korean monks, pastors, and even Taoist masters went to the US. Even ascetic practitioners went to America around the 2000s. A lot of these people entered the US. When spiritual leaders enter America, it means that people's basic needs are met and that they were ready for next level teachings. However, these people went there and only gathered followers and gained power, but they didn't teach people. If they were spiritual leaders, they should have taught people how to live brilliantly and how to become stars in America. Making more money is not the way to live well. They made the right decision to move to America if their intention was to guide people to do the right thing. However, they only tried to increase their power and told people who came to learn, embrace Buddha, kneel before Buddha, or kneel to Jesus, and bring us all the money for Jesus and Buddha.
그러고 예수님한테 줄 돈을 우리한테 다 가져온나 부처님한테 줄 돈을 우리가 다 가져온나 이런 저거 조직이 전부 다 그걸 다
Their organizations collected lots of their money. How could people who should have studied and researched how to live well kneel before a God? That's why cheaters went there. Many swindlers went to the US in the name of religious leaders. What did they really do with their congregations at that time? They should have studied. We should take a leading role in America's transformation. If there are this many Koreans and Asians living in the United States, then there are learning lessons for them to pioneer a transformation. Westerners are good at doing certain things, and there are things Asians are good at.